Welcome into the BSN Rockies Weekly Breakdown presented by Frosted Leaf.
Frosted Leaf, Denver's most innovative dispensary, has the hottest strains, no lines, no wait, and a self-paced direct shopping experience that allows a fast yet comfortable transaction without the awkwardness of a waiting room. Come check out Frosted Leaf's 3 Denver locations and download their app on both Apple or Android. You can also follow them on Snapchat or Instagram at Frosted Leaf Brand.
I'm Allie Monroy, and alongside me is BSN Rockies beat writer Drew Kreisman. All right, Drew, despite the fact that the Rockies did trade 2 of their top 20 prospects for late-inning reliever Sonwon Oh, they weren't as active or aggressive at the deadline as most of the National League. I've seen a lot of people expressing their frustrations on Twitter about this. Do you think fans should be concerned that this will cause the Rockies to fall out of the chase?
Well, maybe Twitter is for expressing frustration, so maybe that's what you should expect. And there is certainly an argument to be made that a lot of the other teams in the hunt have gotten better. But you do have to not worry so much about winning the trade deadline or things like winning the offseason. It really comes down to the talent you've got, the talent that you have to go up against. As you mentioned, the Rockies did address one of their needs. They also made some interesting depth moves, acquiring fan favorite from back in the day, Matt Holliday. Will be interesting to see if he ever suits up for the big league club. But the Rockies feel pretty good about a baseball team that's been on one of the hottest stretches of any team in Major League Baseball. And so while, yes, they didn't do quite as much as many of the other teams, there's no reason to panic. There's still the waiver process that can be done throughout the next month. Plenty of other ways for them to keep making the team better, but they feel pretty good about the team as it is.
Well, like you mentioned, the Rockies have continued their winning ways since the break, recently sweeping the red-hot Oakland A's. What has been the biggest key for their success?
Well, there have been a few of them, but as almost always is when you get on a great run in baseball, it comes down to the starting pitching. They have been really the best team at pitching the baseball for over a month now, and they've been even better, Allie, at home. That's right, at Coors Field, the Rockies have been better than they've been out on the road, but all across the board, every single one of their pitchers. Of course, the big story was John Gray going back to AAA, then coming back looking much better. The way that Kyle Freeland and Tyler Anderson have set the tone. It's been every man doing their job each time out, and that's going to get you a lot of wins, and I think it's one of the reasons why they're going to continue to win.
Speaking of their starting pitching, we've seen Tyler Anderson and John Gray pitch well as of late, but the past 2 nights both have had some trouble finishing on a high note. Is this a sign that they're falling back down to earth?
Maybe a little bit. Honestly, we got to be honest with ourselves. As I was just mentioning, those runs will get you going with starting pitching. They can't keep it up forever. It's the game of baseball. It's impossible to be perfect. But this is also not the first time we've seen them do it this year. They also broke their own record earlier in the season for consecutive quality starts. Then they came back to earth a little bit. Now they've gone on this even better run. There are going to be those ups and downs, but ultimately your underlying talent wins out. So they may come back to earth, which means the offense needs to do a little bit more. The bullpen really needs to tighten up a little bit, but we'll expect those things to happen.
Well, be sure to catch all of our game coverage on bsndenver.com. For Drew Kreisman, I'm Allie Monroy, BSN Denver.